channel where you can follow up with this as well as other sessions that I have taught, and I will send a recap that kind of breaks down a bit of what we went over and has a link to this recording. Okay, now I'm officially done with the housekeeping stuff. Let's talk about InTouch. Again, for those that have seen or been to any of my other sessions or those that are in my market, you guys hear me talk a lot about workflow. And much like, my examples in saving listing concierge assets or editing videos, this is something that requires a good amount of, not good amount, but the proper amount of preparation will allow you to complete these tasks in less than 30 minutes to an hour, and you have something that you can send to your clients that, again, is topical or a way to keep you top of mind and something that has reusable value, along with the standard stuff in regards to your real estate business. So, to give kind of a good example of what exactly I am talking about, let's go ahead and let's look at, for those that are in my region, you guys see me send emails out like this. I do one every Monday and every Friday. The Friday ones include tons of stuff like this one does for you to rip out and put right into your own email. I also link videos to them that will take you right to the YouTube channel that I manage, but these videos are, unlisted, so only my agents getting these emails can see them. But this is kind of what we're talking about, just so you can visualize what we're saying. You can take any of those templates really from InTouch and do tons of great things with them to, again, have revisible value for your clients. And more importantly, that can be tracked so you can see who's opening what kind of engagement we're getting, how we want to do all of that stuff. And what we can make sure we send more of to make sure that we can continue that engagement. They can share this with their friends and family and eventually grow more people into your sphere of influence with some of these fun emails. Now, creating stuff like this, we're going to go ahead and kind of start editing the one that I will be sending out tomorrow, because obviously we're not working Friday. And we can kind of talk a bit about how that gets done. So a bit of where all this happens, InTouch, obviously what we're talking about. When you get to your landing page on InTouch, we go from here into our marketing center. Now, it is in here where you will find all of these templates that I manipulate, and even some great grab and go materials. I think the best thing to do if you're fairly new to the system is go right into this section right here, email and video marketing. I was just trying to highlight the one, but it's really not letting me. I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and this will open up to constantly what is being created and updated by the studio team into this system. So you've already got some 4th of July stuff. We've got some prospecting kind of stuff. The next newsletter is available, cold seller options. There's all tons of great stuff in here. You can also just check this button to look at listing enabled types. You've got stuff for virtual open houses, stuff for property advertisements. As you can see, there's all kinds of great templates in here, and these are just as easy as picking one. I don't have any listings, but your listings will be made available here for you to choose. Click personalize, and it'll add the listing information and the first few photos that were available to grab off of the MLS system. Whatever order you upload those in, usually the first 3, 4, 5 will come in here, and then you can continue to edit from there. You can swap out all the photos, you can add your own header, and we're going to go over the editing process in a custom email, because obviously I don't have a listing, so we can't really do anything there per se. But all of the emails are edited in the same way. So that's what's the fun part about this. What we're going to do before I show you all of the editing and stuff like that, as you can see, we're in the design library. Whenever you edit something, you have the option to save it, and that will go into your saved design library. What was that? Oh no. All right, I should be back. Sorry about cutting out there. Give me 1 second. Okay. Um, Perfect. I should be back. Going to just rewind a couple of seconds because I'm not 100% sure where I cut out. But everybody should again be looking right at my screen. And we were in the design library. So this is where you can see everything that is in the system. And then after that, we looked at stuff just for listings. And again, I don't have any listings, so we can't really edit one of these, but editing all of the emails in this system is done the same exact way. And before I dive into editing what I will be doing, let's look at some of the saved design options. Whenever you are editing anything, you can save it, rename it, and come back and revisit it later. The big advantage here is it allows me, again, looking at what my audience is, which is agents, I can then grab stuff that I'm doing to collect and allow my agents to then repurpose and use to blast out to their clients. And some weeks, I just don't have the time to grab tons and tons of things. So I can go back to a previous week and just continue to edit a previous email, which, again, you can build upon something, you can remove things, you can add things, tons of great stuff to be done here. What I am going to do is actually start us from scratch on a new template. We've got the 4th of July coming up. So let's do a 4th of July blast. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that. And all of these are built, like I said, they could just be grab and go. If you just want to send this out just to get something out, all you would have to do is hit this personalize button, and the info for your the stuff that you have in your My Account feature will populate right down here on the bottom. So we've got my phone numbers, my headshot, my title, and my emails. Message is all set. I could then save this as is, exit the system, and send it to my sphere. But let's say we want to really get some extra mileage out of it, right? So I want to go ahead and add to this and personalize it. So I've already, forgot I still had this open. I've already gone ahead, and much like everything, right? We talk about workflow. I've got a folder I've created on my desktop full of stuff for my July 3rd email that I want to include. Any kind of images that I'm going to need for the email, as well as any links. And I've got some of them already open because I was prepping for this email. Now, let's say, just as a quick side note, you want to save some websites and some things to talk about in future emails to prep your workflow better. How I saved these, I'm using Google Chrome to save a website for future use so we can quickly get to it later. For this purpose, I always recommend you just go into your more tools. I clicked on these 3 dots right here where we've got new tab, new window, new incognito window, etc. We're going down to more tools and I'm hitting create a shortcut. This will then create a shortcut. I can hit create. That has dropped one on my desktop, which I can then drag into my July 3rd folder. And when I click on this and I'm ready to do my email, this will open me up right to the link that I needed. Things like video, if I wanted to add a video to this, it's just as simple as, making sure the video is already uploaded somewhere, like sorry, I had to get back to this, like your YouTube channel or your Vimeo account. And then all you would have to do is go ahead and grab, I'm going to go into my YouTube studio, and let's say I've already got my video shot. The system is super easy. So let's say the first thing I need to add is my video. I'm going to go into all of my videos, grab the unlisted video, that I have ready, which is just me talking about wishing everybody a happy 4th of July. And here are some great resources I think you can look into for the weekend if you wanted to find something good to read, something good to watch, blah, blah, blah. That's my message, right? All we have to do is copy that share link, which again is just this, this link right here, the YouTube video link. And one more time, I call it the share link because it's just this right here that we have to grab. We copy that. And now this is going to be the first edit we want to do to our video. And let's say I want it to go right above that happy 4th of July. So this works just like any other editor that you guys are accustomed to using online. You've got your basic word editing panel right up here. Handful of fonts that are made available, handful of sizes. You can bold things, italicize, underline. You can change the text color. You can change the background color, numbers, bullets, special characters, creating links, super subscripts. I am back. I apologize about the internet difficulties. All right. Everybody can hear me, right? Just checking the chat really quick. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Yuli. I am going to just rewind a little bit. Again, apologize. It's been a while since I've had some internet difficulties. It's part of the fun. Now, returning from our commercial break, let us go back into our editing space. So I was talking about all of the good word processing tools, and I'm sure all of you got the gist of it the first time, even before I cut out, so I'm not going to repeat the whole thing. But everything you can manage is up here. And a lot of it is nice and simple, right? So we know what font we're using, and we know where it's going to be. I want this video to be centered. I'm going to go ahead and align my text into the center, just like that. Let me just make sure. Is there a way to choose? Okay, questions I will jump at the end. I just wanted to make sure I was still connected. Anyway, got that centered there. I'm going to go ahead and hit insert video, which again, you can use from either YouTube or Vimeo. I highly suggest YouTube because everybody should have a YouTube channel. And this way you've got something easily accessible for consumers to grab and go to and, you know, dive down that rabbit hole that is your brand and business. I'm going to paste that link for my video that I copied, and all I got to do is hit paste or submit. And just like that, my video's there. I can grab one of these corners, adjust it to fit so it doesn't look weird. And now we can start adding our text. I've included some great resources here for you to look into this weekend. And let's say now I want to add an image, link to it, and share some information about arts in the armed forces, which is something I'm going to be including in this email, and it's something I do with all of my emails, is kind of have an image that we link to with good, so yeah, blah, 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 me rambling on. This is how you would kind of go through that process. If you, again, to do something quick, efficiently, right? All I'm going is to, this is the charity I am highlighting in my email this week, clicking on the About page. I am going to grab their About info. I'm going to throw it. Now, I want to keep all of this stuff centered with a great image that I'm going to add. And again, I've already got all that stuff saved in my folder. So I just click Insert Image. I can upload an image. You can drag and drop or do it the old-fashioned way. We can select a file. I can go right to my July 3rd folder and grab the image I want. Same thing, we can resize it to make it nice and big. I can then paste my text in below it, and now, how do we link that to the website? There's two things you can do. You could click and make an image linkable by doing either way. It's the same thing, right? I could either make this text, I could highlight, click here. Now we need to get the link. So I am going to go ahead and go back to the main page. I am going to right click and copy the web address. And then I'm going to highlight, click here, insert edit link. So you got two options: remove link, insert edit. The one that is a chain link will connect you to things. The one that is a broken one will remove links. All I gotta do is paste that in here. Target, I always recommend switching to new window. All that will do is open up the link in a new window, versus if someone's using a mobile device or something like that, versus replacing wherever they are if they're on a website. It's not a big deal because this is an email, but I digress. You don't have to change it, but new window is just some good housekeeping. And just like that, now we've got a link there. You could do the same with an image. As you can see, my image is selected. When I click on it, insert, okay. And now when I hover, I can see that there is indeed a link. And if I want to remove that link, all I have to do is click here, remove link, and click here, remove link, and it's gone. Same thing if you're adding in with other YouTube videos. You could either, or if you have a video that's coming from a source that isn't YouTube, like let's say you've got a Matterport that you're sharing, you could take that image of the home, you can upload an image of the home and then link it to that Matterport 3D rendering, and then just type underneath, click on the image to view the home in a 3D VR rendering. So again, there's creative ways around whatever you are trying to do, or you can make that text a clickable link, whatever the case may be. And that's really, that's really it in regards to editing these emails. The information at the bottom, like I said, auto-populates. If you do need to edit anything, you can edit things from here. As you can see, it kind of throws the spacing off a little bit. So I recommend making these changes in the My Account section of your InTouch account, because this is where all that information pulls from, including the logo being used. Again, once you are set with everything, you can preview the emails to see what they look like. If you're including showcase properties with them, it will add a footer with your showcase properties that you have selected in the featured property section. You can preview desktop and you can preview mobile. You can go back to edit. You can save, always save. And let's say we're done editing. Hitting publish to web and share is how you get a grabbable link. You will see that, again, it allows you to then, if I can get, there we go. This allows you to have it open up in a web page like this. I usually drop that link right into the description of my YouTube videos as well, just in case the consumer clicked on it and got to the YouTube video, then they can click on this link in the description to get right back to the message that they got here from. You can also send them right out from this system. So composing email. Now, again, someone needs to be in InTouch to be able to be automatically added to the email. So you could go to select anybody from your library to send it to. You can also send it to groups if you've got people grouped. Filter through your clients however you would like, and you'll see those names pop in. You can also start typing names and have them pull up that way. Or you can type in an email. And have a recipients get it in that way. But adding an email like this to here will not add that individual to your CRM. You still would need to go back and add that person to this list. Now, this email is already prepped and ready to go. You don't need to add any message on top of it. Again, if you want to include showcase properties, you can see showcase properties will pop in on the bottom. Otherwise, you can turn that off. You can edit the subject of the email here, and then once you're done, send, and off it goes. And that is editing the emails in this system. The big thing is, what does your consumer want, and what can you create to them that adds more inherent value to you beyond square footage and school zones. I am going to go ahead and stop the screen share and open up the floor for questions. I will go ahead and look at the chat window and see what's going on here. Is there a way to choose an odd number for the font versus only the even numbers? Unfortunately, the font numbers are locked to what they are, and then they round to whatever the nearest one is. It is a point I will note that Market Leader, the company that develops the InTouch software, is thinking about adding into upgrades in the future. However, the current editor is kind of fixed to what it is. Can you adjust the double spacing by doing Shift Enter at the end of a? You can adjust the double spacing by doing Shift Enter. You can. You can also, as I'm just going to share my screen again, you can also adjust the line height right here in the editor as well. So you can have it single spacing, 1.5, or double spacing. And then you could select whatever you'd like. If you'd like it to be 1.5, if you'd like it to be single spaced, that can all be edited from there. How do you change these showcase properties? Showcase properties. All right, let me get back to, here we go. Our properties, when you go to market my listings. So if you have any listings and you have them featured on your website, they will pop up automatically as part of these showcase properties. Otherwise, it will randomly select properties. I'm not an agent, so I just realized that nothing is going to come up, whatever category I choose. But if you go to my office listings, you should be able to see your office's listings. And that's how you can also add to make sure those listings are featured on your website as well. So when a consumer lands on your page, there are properties for them to click and ask you questions about, because everything will remain branded to you. It'll just say listing courtesy of listing agent. But I digress. Those are the properties that you feature on your website. Those are the ones that will also cycle in at random to the featured property option whenever you add that to an email. Is there a way to remove the extra white space between the title and the main image? For example, if you remove the title, there's extra white space. No, so the extra white space, trying to find a good way to say it. Think of it like an invisible wall. I don't know how many of you are familiar with video games, but when you play video games, there are borders created to the world in which the program has been confined to. You will walk to a certain space, and even though you might be able to see more space beyond it, the actual code ends there, preventing you to go any further. That gap in your email, that like gap of white space, is the code separating that top section from another editable section. If that makes any kind of sense, that's why you can't remove 100% of that gap, is because part of it exists purely as a gap between two editable sections of the email. No, there's no way to edit that code. I still have another question. Is there a way to make the title centered, but the text left justified? Yeah, like, let me go ahead and share the screen again. So now, if you're talking about like the title within this image, that's an image, right? So I can't do anything about that. But if I wanted Happy 4th of July, if that was going to be my title, I can then, just center that and select this stuff underneath. Oh no, it's doing them both. I see what you're talking about. You would actually create two separate sections of text then. So what we'll do is go here and then copy this, delete that, come down to a new subheader that I will left justify, and there we go. And again, see now, because we're hitting that gap, there we go. But that's about as close as the two will get. Maybe if I single space it, no. You're always going to have a little bit of a 1.5 gap, because if I bring this any closer, it's now the same thing, and I don't think, it's not going to separate the two anymore. But I hope that answers that justification question in regards to aligning. Nadia, did I end up answering that when I was talking about moving the block of text down? Awesome. You are welcome to the people saying thank you. I am glad that everybody found the class useful. Again, I recorded the session, including all of those questions. I'm going to go ahead and stop the